Big welcome for Fabio Fossati. With Mladen, we would love to welcome you. For our viewers, we can say, Fabio, that you are successful in all of the fields. If we are looking basketball, first you was a top division player in Italy, then you was a head coach in great clubs in Italy and also abroad. And later we will talking about also that you was mentor of the Hungarian National Basketball Academy. Also, you are a university professor in Brescia, and also you are a very successful mental coach. For example, in 2022, you won the EuroCup with Virtus Bologna when you was part of the staff. Fabio, let's start that why you was choosing basketball, in which Italian clubs you was playing, and who were your idols in that time. The word is yours.
Okay, in advance, thank you very much because you are giving me the opportunity to speak about myself, but it's a great pleasure to be involved in your project. And so about my career as a player, started many years ago. Before playing basketball, I played soccer. And I was in very important team in Italy, Internazionale Milano. But about the practice, it was so tough for my father pick up me and to go to the Milan. And when I was 14, I changed totally sport. I started to play basketball, and it was at the beginning my dream to play in first division. But I was living in a part of Italy close Canton. Canton was a very famous place for the basketball. Okay, and my dream was to play for Canton, but I never did it. Just once during the tournament during the summer. And when I was 19, I had the opportunity. My coach, Valerio Bianchini, very famous coach in Italy, asked me if I was able to move from my little town, the name is Lissone, to Rome, to play for the Stella Azzurra Roma. And it's been a great situation because in that moment I realized my dream to play as professional. But it was so tough because I was in a very famous team, and but this team, the new philosophy was to change totally the old philosophy. And for this reason, first year has been very tough because, people, fans didn't accept me as a point guard. But after, the things started to work better. And I played for Stella Azzurra Roma for 7 years. I was also the captain there in first division. From Roma, I moved to Brescia, and the first year in A2, and after in first division for years. And after Brescia, I'm living in Brescia. I decided to stay in Brescia as after my career in the basketball. But my career in basketball never will finish because so, as player, as a coach. I played 1 year in Udine, and after I finished my career in Naples. And in Naples has been great because the coach was Arnaldo Taurisano, and Arnaldo Taurisano at the end of that year he signed a contract for a team in Brescia, and he knew exactly that in my mind there was the idea to be a coach, and he offered me the opportunity to be assistant coach in Brescia. It's been great because Brescia was and is my town. And about at the time when I was young, it was so difficult to have some example to follow. But when I start to play in Rome, there was a very famous player in Italy. I don't know the name, maybe nothing tells you. It's Paolo Vittori, and Paolo Vittori has been my idol because and it was so great when for the first time we were opened. And now he is an old man because last week it was his birthday, and I think he is 87. It's unbelievable.
In this age, that is
That's
important.
nice.
How is feeling himself inside, not the years are important. To reflect for Brescia, I was following Brescia because let's say that in Serbia it's common that when we are playing basketball, that we are following football, we are following volleyball, and let's say Brescia I was following when was Roberto Baggio, for example, playing
Oh,
there.
sure.
Because I loved his game, and end of his career he was playing in Brescia. Let's say for us, Fabio, who was influencing you to become a basketball coach? Who was, let's say, who was giving this passion, or who were your idols in the beginning of your coaching career, and in which Italian clubs you was coaching?
So it is a great question because I was so lucky in my career as a coach because as I said before, my first coach was Valerio Bianchini, and after I was player for Riccardo Sales in Brescia, and after Massimo Mangano and Arnaldo Taurisano. That's are great. These coaches are great. But I want to focus about the first my coach. First my coach, the name is no one know him, is Pierangelo Trabottoni. And Pierangelo has been great for me because when I was 14, he followed me, not just a player, but just a guys, and he gave me a lot of information to try to grow up in the right way as a man. And now he is a very old man, 84, but I'm not able to, that in Italy we use you, but tu. But never I was able to speak to him using tu. I use with him lei, he. And now when I have some questions, I have some idea, before to give a decision, every time I call him. It's unbelievable because for me it's been no father, but a brother. And so after this period, 4 years, as I said, he helped me to have a dream. Because when I was young, in my mind, there was the idea, the dream to play as a professional. And as I said before, in my little town close Cantu, there was a team in first division, and with Pierangelo Trabattoni, every Sunday, okay, I went to watch the game there, and so it's unbelievable, because I felt inside the goodwill to work tough to reach my dream. But as a player, I was a normal player, but all coaches, they liked me, because when they spoke to me about their philosophy, I was totally involved in their philosophy. For this reason, in each team, I was captain.
And as a coach, in which big Italian clubs you was working?
Okay, I started to be coach in Brescia. After a couple of years of assistant coach with Arnaldo Taurisano, and I was coach in the first division in a men team. But it was so tough, because probably I started to be coach and I was too young, because there is a great difference when you are a player and when you have to teach the game. And tough, because in this team there were a lot of my teammates, and changing position, it was very tough. But after this experience, okay, I had the opportunity to work in a famous club in Italy. At the moment, it is named the Virtus Roma, but at that moment, the name was Messaggero Roma, and I was in charge of the youth team. And I stay with the Messaggero for 3 years. Messaggero changed totally basketball in Italy, because they signed a very important player from NBA, but not just from NBA. For example, I'm sure that you remember Dino Raja. Dino Raja played the Messaggero when in his first time outside his country. Has been a great experience for me to work there, working with young people, because it's been the right starting to improve my knowledges about the player.
And, okay, in that position, you mentioned before that you played point guard, right? So that kind of position actually forces you to understand all around the game, to feel the players, to be right hand of the coach, right? Does that position help you as a coach when you, let's say, change the shoes from sneakers to suit shoes? Does that help you that much also to, let's say, direct your career in some let's say level as a mental coach right now, as you're doing right now this kind of job? Does that help you to understand philosophy and psychology of all your teammates and then and your players when you become a coach?
Okay, right question. But so I like when people ask me about my career, and always I said, okay, in my career as a player, but also as a coach, I made a lot of mistake, because okay, I had the right idea, for example, to manage people, but at that time I wasn't able. And when at the end of my career, when I was coaching Cameroon, for example, So I decided that I had to do something different to involve people, to involve in that case girls, because I was coaching the Cameroon national team, women national team, and giving them not just some information about basketball, but giving them some information about the life. You have to imagine in the Cameroon at that time, but I don't know if now the situation is changed. There was a big discrimination between men and women. And okay, men, they had everything to be a good player, right opportunity to travel on the flight.
Better chance, better conditions, a better chance.
Yeah. Also, with the women, it's been very tough. And I gave to the girls the idea that they were very important person. So, and we got the result. The result was to be in pre-Olympic game instead of the men team. The men team lost against against Angola, and in the last 7 seconds they were up for 6 points, and they lost the game. In that period in Cameroon, no one know this situation, but a lot of the person suicide for this reason. But
Yes.
instead, the girl team could give the opportunity to play in a pre-Olympic game. But the Minister dello Sport said to us that there wasn't money to go there. And in this moment, changed totally my idea in the basketball. So this is a very sunny, not very funny, but you have to imagine also this man called me and he said to me, "Hey Fabio, I said to you, I say you in French, mon petit frère ne pas d'argent, my little brother, no money," and I answered, and what we did. So, but there is another. Okay, you must give from us 2 salary, and you must give to your players the information that we must give up to go to the Olympic game. If you don't make that, I don't pay you. Unbelievable.
But that is why we are asking from you, from your abroad work, that to get some also interesting information for coaches to learn from the experience. I would now love to ask from you your job in Russia, in Dinamo Moscow. That was your first experience in abroad. With what kind of different mentality or a different community you entered? And you said that you was making many mistakes in the beginning of career. Me also, I was making many mistakes in the beginning of my career. I started coaching at 19, and that I would love to ask from you in Russia. Maybe what you think, what mistake maybe you did that maybe was working with different mentality of players and different conditions, because from here we are saying big hello for Laszlo Radgeber, because when Laszlo Radgeber was working in Spartak Moscow, I was following his blog and he was writing that it was so cold that he not loved to drink so much alcohol, but because it was so cold, even he was drinking vodka sometimes after or before the training to make him more warm. So I would love to get from you some interesting details from Russia in that time, and maybe some anecdotes, because it for sure was totally different for you than to work in Italy.
So I was the first coach, Italian coach, that had the opportunity to work in Russia. And I coached, as you said, Dinamo Moscow, female team. And you know, the Dinamo Moscow was at that time the team of KGB. And just this word, you can imagine how was the situation there.
For some special control also.
So many red lights, yeah.
Well, but in any case, it's been great for me, because during this period, okay, I was a coach, but they developed me also about other things. So the first thing for me was to try understand the culture of the Russian people. Even if in my team there were, yes, some Russian players, but there were players from different countries, USA, I know, Spain, Croatia, Czech Republic. And so at the beginning, it was so difficult to transmit my idea, even because they fired the head coach, and they forced me to keep this coach as my assistant coach. Oof. And it's so very tough to build a good relation with this man. And in any case, there was a man, maybe probably you know him, Shaptai Vankalovich. Mm-hmm. Shaptai Vankalovich, he was owner of Ekaterinburg, but he was also in charge with the Dinamo Moscow. And it was so difficult to find a good connection between this situation. And I don't want to go on, but I want to tell you just this story. We were so able to get the opportunity to play the Final Four in Istanbul, FIBA Cup. And in that event, there were 4 teams: Dinamo Moscow, St. Petersburg, a Hungarian team, and Fenerbahce. When I was there a week before, I didn't, in the team, there were 2 or 3 American girls because they were with the national team. But they decided didn't play with us. And they were in the different hotel. And in a moment, I received a call from Shaptai Vankalovich, and he said to me, okay, Fabio, you have to force this girl to play for your team. And I asked her, but they don't like. and you have to force, because if you don't force them, I killed you. But it wasn't jogging. You have to imagine Shabtai Vankalovic was in the prison in Israel for 8 years as a spy.
Yes. I know.
I call right now Moscow, the other man in charge of Dinamo, and I remember he said to me, Fabio, don't worry, you're my friend. Okay, but I didn't speak in Russia. I just spoke in English. There was an interpreter. So this man said to me, "Hey, Fabio, you must have confidence. You know that I have a great opinion about you, and for this reason, I give you 4 bodyguards." Unbelievable. For a week, I went around the hotel with the 4 bodyguards, and my players said to me, "Hey, Fabio, what is happening?" And it's very also tough to explain them the situation.
We can say for our viewers, for example, that you mentioned Shabtai with Yekaterinburg were winning, for example, EuroLeague, so highest level, good budget.
And so at the end, I was so able to convince the player, the American player, to play with us. But it's so tough because they were in another hotel. They didn't like to have practice with us. And it was so difficult to manage this situation with the other players, even if the man in charge of Dinamo Moscow, Michalewski, offered me the opportunity to have the contract offer for the next year. But at the end, it's been very tough. And
thank you, but no.
I like very much to stay with my girls. And but when finished the season and I got home, so and I had a contract, but I decided to give up the contract with Dinamo Moscow. But because it was so difficult, even if they offered me great money for sure. So the opportunity for my wife to teach inside the Italian embassy, and also the school for my daughter. But last thing, when I was coach in Schio, and we had to play the EuroLeague game in Ekaterinburg, I asked the opportunity to have a practice at the Dinamo Center. When I arrived there with the bus, my players went down, and watching from the little window, I saw all stuff that I had during my experience there. And when I went down, these people, they were like a soldier in front of me, and they say, "Dobro utro, Signor Fabio."
Good morning.
And I cried.
Yeah. It's
yes.
amazing.
Now I cry. Think about that, I cry. That's it's a great experience.
Yes, it's a great feeling. And from that kind of conditions, later you are moving to Switzerland, in Nyon, which has also very big tradition in Switzerland. And now, how was for you? What was your expectation? Okay, you know that there will be no key JB and that kind of stuff for sure. But how was that change for you? Because also for sure you was needed to adapt for sure, because different mentality and everything.
Okay, you know that in Switzerland, everything is perfect. It's
I know.
perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. But in that moment, I was there with the female team, and there was a two great team, Nyon and Sion. And so I tried to. I tried. I did. I worked using my mentality. Okay, the girls were professional, but they didn't have the right professional mentality, and for this reason, at the beginning was very tough. But so they understood that the right way to arrive to play the final of the league and the final of the cup was to change it totally the technique way. At the beginning, this team had just offense mentality, nothing in defense. And for this reason, when I arrived, I focused on the defense. And the situation changed totally. But some player, they didn't have in their skill, in their ability, the right defense mentality. And for this reason, we arrived to play the both final for the Swiss League and the final for the Swiss Cup. But at the end, we weren't so able to play the right basketball, and in both time we lost. It's been a great experience because in any case, I met a girl from Cameroon, and this girl gave me the opportunity after to work with the Cameroon national team, because this girl was the captain of the Cameroon national team. And another situation very strange, the owner of the team, a month before the finish of the regular season, after before the final of the cup, he said that next year Nyon will not have the team because I have to move to the state. Okay, it's unbelievable. I remember I said, President, maybe you had to wait to say this thing, okay, at the end of the season, not right now, because now the player just they have the idea to find another team, and they are working here. And as you see, every time when I work in a foreign country, always very, very tough situation.
You attracting a problem. Yeah, that's true actually. But let's make something clear for our viewers, especially in the female basketball. There is so obvious the knowledge of the players, because females cannot, for example, rely on that much physically. For example, jumping, rebounding, crazy stuff. So it's pure basketball, right? Pure basketball skills, right? So that means that how much you actually spend time with them, teach them right time of repetition, some basketball skill or drill. That means that they will do better and better. So that's pure basketball. You cannot rely on any kind of physicality, right?
Okay, there is a great difference between men and women basketball. okay, the difference is testosterone.
Of course.
Absolutely. So, but okay, the approach is totally different because a main team, your approach must be a physical approach. A physical approach. With the women is an emotional approach. This situation is totally out of the technique. What means? Okay, this question many times people make me when I'm in I don't know, in a clinic, and they ask me, "Hey coach, which difference between men and female basketball?" And okay, every time I say this very simple example. Being emotional in the female, you must work on their emotion, and they must understand that you are doing for them the maximum, and the maximum isn't just the technique, but to be close them when they have some troubles, because you know, for the women, sometimes they missed the head, and this is the first great step. During the clinic, I make this example. If I said to my female team, okay, girls, today, if we want to win the game, you must crash your head against the wall. If they have confidence in you, they say, hey coach, where? If you make the same the same thing to the main team, the people said, why? And is the totally different.
Yeah.
And okay, when I was coach in the main team, okay, I had the stress situation because I didn't understand what means to win a league, because I coached the always team not so strong, team that every time they had to save the season, to keep the position. And with the women team, change totally different. And because I want to understand what means to win, and the girls touch me how to win. And for this reason, okay, thank you very much to female basketball, absolutely. But also, after it's so difficult, because if you don't keep the total trust, the total confidence from your women players, okay, is so difficult to work. And I want to give you, for example, some example. Some very famous Italian coach, they started to work with the female team, but their experience was just with the men team, and they accept the position in the female team, thinking already that the next season they had to change and to find a man team. Okay, this situation, the female team, the woman understand right now when you are in the court, and means the fail situation. Absolutely. if you decide to change from man and the female team, the girls are waiting from you, your experience, your environment on 100%, more than 100%, because you are coming from the main team and they have a great expectation for you, and you must give them not the 100%, the under 50%. If you must give them just 90%, okay, probably you fail.
It's like situation. They must rely on you. You must be there for them, right? Because you must feel how that group work together. That's the most important thing. With the men are different. You can, let's say, hide mistakes or some not good basketball skills with athleticism, right? With the physics. But in females, there is so reachable. When you see the game, then you know what's ups and what's down. So that's my opinion.
Yes. I'm so involved. You see, I have a very enthusiasm when I speak about the female, because if you give them the right goal, and you explain the right goal and how to reach this goal, okay, a female team, they make a maximum for you. It's little different with the men team. So, and when I'm speaking about my experience with the female team, I try to transmit, for example, during the clinic to the coaches, that for me and for these coaches that are in this clinic, I suggest them, okay, try to work at least once with the female team if you want to improve your career, if you want to improve your job as a coach. But don't forget, if you accept a female team, you must work for your player at the maximum. You must give them all your knowledges
on every training.
Totally. And don't think that this moment is just a moment and you are thinking already to change situation in the future. Hey, women are so terrible because they understand right now that your idea. I remember when I was the first time there, and during the practice, it was my first time with the female team. During the practice with the female team, okay, I like to give, I don't know, bravo, congratulations, you are working. At the end of the practice, one of my players was crying. I was very disappointed. And I asked to my assistant coach, hey, but what I did? And it was very funny. And I learned from this practice. I learned from these coaches. And these coaches, he said to me, hey, Fabio, it's unbelievable watching how you are making your job, and you give some suggestion. And always when a girl make something good, I said, brava. But this girl is crying because you, during the practice, you never say to her, brava. And I learned, okay, I must, during the practice, I had to say to everybody, brava.
At every time.
or no. But this is a detail but in this detail, you make the difference in
Yeah.
female team.
Yes,
That's true.
I would love to add two things about this because me also was working with men and women teams. Let's say Mladen will know one of our professor, Milutin Luta Pavlovic. And from Milutin Luta Pavlovic, I heard that he said for us, if you want to be a successful coach, you need to be at least 1 year with a women's senior team. What you was talking now, Fabio, that how many things you need to learn. And I must to say that my time with women teams helped me also with the men team. Because I was also little adapting, changing, little I was what said Mladen, little I went about this human relationship, how I can maybe help for their personality, and that is why maybe I start to make a lot of team buildings on my basketball trainings, because atmosphere is very interesting because everybody has different mindset. And to put one more thing about men and women basketball, my experience is that in women basketball, I can be more strict with systems, because when the girls are feeling that I am giving for them 150% on every training, helping for them, also I'm saying for them what you are saying, bravo and positive things, they will following me in everything. And I can be so strict with technical details, but in men basketball, I must let for men's like, okay, now you can finish 1-on-1, you can finish 2-on-2. So there are different things, but I think if you are working on both sides, that is helping for you that later maybe to become successful even in men and women basketball also. And let's go now, Fabio, to talk about the Hungarian National Basketball Academy. We can speak about it has really great conditions for players, but about this I would love to speak about it because you was working there as a mentor. Also, we mentioned before Laszlo Radgeber, so he's a EuroLeague winner coach in women basketball, and also was national team head coach of Hungary for men team as well. Also was working in Spartak Moscow and Fenerbahce in the time when they were the best teams in women basketball in Europe. And we can say that also Laszlo Radgeber was connecting me and you because we met once in one summer camp in Baja. So let's talk about how he was mentoring the work in the National Basketball Academy in Hungary, and say for our viewers, what kind of conditions have these players? Not just that they are sleeping there and they have verified foreign coaches, but what kind of other basketball stuff and basketball technology have in this academy?
In any case, when I met for the first time, Laszlo has been great. I remember he was a coach in Pecce, and we played a game in Como, and I was coaching Pulcomense, and so I remember I won just the last shoot, and I don't know for which reason during the press conference after the game, okay, we start to speak, and in that situation, we built our great relationship, friendly relationship. And after this game, I never beat Laszlo. Never.
It was very good.
Never. Just in Italy, not just in Italy, but also in Pecce, and when he was with the Sparta. It's been great because during we were a reporter in a camp, Postojna camp. Postojna camp was a camp of FIBA Europe for girls under 16 from different countries, and we were reported there. And he gave me this news. Hey Fabio, I have this idea to build an academia in Hungary. You could be interested to work with me if this project will going on. And I said, hey, Laszlo, for sure. And at the beginning, we worked with him in a camp in Baia, no? In Baia. So for 10 years, and it was great. But okay, the academia, it wasn't just an idea. The academia became a reality. And he invited me and Janez Dravlic to help the coach to develop the coach. And at the beginning it was very tough because I remember we made some training section 4 or 5 times daily. Unbelievable. At the end, we were dead. But okay, the more tough situation started after the practice because Laszlo, friendly, we went around the city, we drink, blah, 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 blah. So, but, and after this period where I help the coaches to grow up, and I changed totally my position because I try to help the coach to grow up, not only using technique drill, physical drill, tactic drill, but I tried to send this message. If you must be a coach, a totally coach, 360-degree coach, you must know that it's very important to have also other knowledges. Other knowledges are how to communicate, how to create a goal setting, how to manage the mistake, how to give to your player some suggestion how to recover energy and something. And in last period of my job there, okay, has been that making some clinics with the coaches inside the academia, giving them different suggestions. And also this has been a very important part for me because I saw that the coaches grew up receiving different information than only the technique. And it's been great for me because now the situation in the Raxeber Academy probably is changing because changes the political situation. But it's been a great experience, even because academia had the opportunity to plan a very important clinic with a very important reporter, an MBA reporter, European reporter. And so, for example, I help Laszlo to get Messina, Sergio Scariolo. So just Messina just online, but Sergio Scariolo as a reporter there in 2 years ago. Now I don't remember. But okay, in this moment, but also in the past, for me, the academia has been as my family, because I was in academia for 10 days, for month, and it's been great opportunity to meet a lot of person. And as I said, I feel this person very close to me, and also I knew and I met a lot of the Serbian coaches, and I liked very much because
Nenad Trunic, for example.
they have a great mentality, and okay, it's so different. For example, because Serbian coach are a group, they live together. If, for example, there is a position free in a sport, they make everything to help their friends. In Italy, it's totally different. This is not, and I like very much when these coaches, call me brother, and so it was a great emotion. But this situation built step by step, year by year, stay close, share our experience, to stay together, not just during the practice, but after the practice. And the academia is, for me, one of the best idea. So in Italy, for example, when I speak to the coaches and I offer them the opportunity to go there, to visit the academia, they don't believe. But what happened? When, for example, they are in a clinic and they see Raxever Academia, they say to me, but that all is true? Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. The gym. It's true. The facility. It's true. The organization. It's true.
The technology, what they have.
Because never similar in Italy.
Yes. So I can also say it's really a great idea, and we can say that it was growing up, like now playing, for example, also top division, the men team and the women team. And for example, now the women team won the championship of Hungary in this season. And we can say in the final, I think, if I was following good, even we're winning the last game without foreign players. So all the local Hungarian players. And let's say I'm saying a big hello for Janez Drvaric, who you mentioned, also was going like as a mentor coach, also Nenad Trunic, who is really a very respected coach who is coming from Serbia. And just to reflect what you said, that Serbians are helping for Serbians, I was in abroad and was coming one local coach who knew me before because I was working 2 times in that country, and he's asking me, Hunor, Serbian coaches are helping for Serbian coaches. And I said, yes, but I know that in your country, you will not helping for your local coach, for the coach from your country. Even you will be jealous why this person is in a good position and not me. And we are really helping for each of other. And this is maybe this what you said, that passion and enthusiasm, what you was feeling. Maybe this little connecting us, but we can say for our viewers, this enthusiasm and passion are because of the great results. Because when we were young players and young coaches, we were growing up like Yugoslavia or Serbia, Montenegro or Serbia, winning a big European championship or World Cup, or coming famous players from NBA. Because in some countries abroad, I think maybe just missing the big results, the great results. For example, let's say Hungary, I can say that, for example, in women basketball, I saw very talented girls, very great physical abilities. Maybe just missing for them one gold medal from Eurobasket or World Cup, that everything to grow a passion. Because when I was a young player, in Yugoslavia, I was thinking, if let's say those players are coming from Yugoslavia, also I can be a World Cup champion. So you have that kind of mindset. And let's talk now about mental coaching, Fabio. about how you started, what is your experience, and also we can say that in what I mentioned in the beginning, that in 2022, for example, as part of Virtus Bologna, when was head coach Sergio Scariolo, who was inviting you there. Also, the team was winning the EuroCup, for example. Also, you can speak how was the work with some superstars in that time, right? Like Belinelli, Milos Teodosic, and other great players.
Okay. I want to tell you because I decided to change my position in basketball. So, in the moment of my career as a coach, I realized that I didn't like the games before, during, and after. Okay, for this reason, also, after my experience in Cameroon, as I said above, so when, a lot of troubles, I decided to stay in basketball, but in a different position. And for this reason, I went to the state, and I was for 6 months in Robert Neff Academy in Dallas. Now they are in Los Angeles, and they have a connection in Italy with the Mental Training Italy. And I started my idea because my idea is to try to understand first, because I did a lot of the mistake, and second, how could I do to work better, for example, to help the coaches. And about my experience with Virtus, very simple, because when many years, I knew Scaglioro since many, because he is from Brescia, and I was playing. When I was a professional player here, we met each other because I taught in a private school, and this private school, the secretaries in the floor up Sergio Scaglioro home. But no, that's different. But we start our relationship, and when he signed a contract with Virtus, he called me, but I didn't know that he signed a contract with the Virtus. My idea it was that Sergio he was still with Raptors, and when he said to me, "Hey Fabio, are you able to work with me as a Toronto?" Not Toronto. I signed a contract with the Virtus. Now change it totally. And because Fabio, you know, I believe a lot in the opportunity to help the player to when they are in trouble, and to give the hand, and we start in this situation. Okay, when I was the first time in front of the player, I wonder, but what can I tell to Marco Belinelli, to Milos Teodosic, to the other players? And I am very honestly, I learn from them. No, I teach them. I learn a lot from them. But my job was very simple, because I am also a mindfulness instructor. We used the mindfulness technique to help them to recover energy. What does it mean? Because they play, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 80 games, maybe more during the season. And when they finish, when they arrived to Bologna after the game, we get this player, and they were lying down, and we help them to recover energy using the breathing. And not so long technique, because the professional player, they have a lot they think in their mind. Short technique. Okay, my proposal at the beginning, some player decide to follow or not to follow, no problem for me. But okay, at the end, almost all players were involved in this section of to recover energy. Okay, I was very close to physiotherapy staff, and for example, we use some technique, 12 minutes, and this 12 minutes, like 3 hours sleeping, is unbelievable to recover energy. Okay, also this part in my job, okay, I do something more about how, for example, to manage the mistake. But also in this situation, I learn a lot from the players. I remember when I asked to Marco Belinelli that, hey Marco, what about the mistake? And it was very funny, because he answered and he said to me, Fabio, I made a mistake when I don't shoot, because I'm sure I have to shoot. And Milos, for example, I remember said to me that, hey Fabio, I don't care about the mistake. Okay, so if mistake is part of my job, okay, many times I know that I'm doing to make a mistake, but okay, in my job is to risk, is to make something also, not just for myself, but also for the people, also for the fans, and for sure, I have to forget the mistake. For example, the other situation with Toko Schengelia, and Toko said to me, Fabio, when I made a mistake, I go mad. When I was young, I broke everything around me. Now, okay, I accept the mistake. And my suggestion, in any case, to them, it was to give them some idea how was very important when I'm making mistake to change totally focus. It's so difficult. It's like to climb the Everest without boot. So, but focusing, for example, on the breathing. But back needs a long job, every days. Even because if you want to improve a mental skill, a mental capacity, you have dedicated the same time that you are dedicating to improve, I don't know, to physical power, to technique. And there is a bad mentality in Italy. In Italy, people call the mental coach, the psychology, when the situation is going bad, and it should be very important the previous. So in China, for example, people go to the doctor when they feel good, not when they feel bad. But this mentality is so difficult.
Yes.
In our part. But in any case, it's been a great experience with them. And after the other experience with the female team was with the NutriBullet Treviso, but also in this case, they called me in before the end of the season, and they are in very troubled situation. And I'm sure if we could start before, okay, they save the season. But if we could start maybe 50 days before, we could reach the playoff, because we were out for the playoff for 2 months. And just to recover their mental energy, nothing else. Even because in that period in Treviso, fans were unsatisfied about the team. During the game, they were against the player, against the coaches, and the coach and player suffered a lot of pressure. But okay, we resolved it.
Well, about this, Mladen can say also maybe some reflection that how Mladen was for you also important when the coach was asking what you think about it, how you was feeling little different, because when we were going out from Yugoslavia, we used for it that the coach is saying how we are playing, and that is how we are playing, that they are not asking us what we think about the game. How we was feeling this difference, for example, and also you was in big clubs that you had huge staff. How you loved, for example, that your staff maybe has a psychologist or a mental coach, for example, in your rich playing career.
Okay. To be honest, now I think the most important thing is that you accept all those kind of, let's say, stuff. All those stuffs, coaching stuff, medical stuff, mental coaches, your private coaches actually are there for you to improve your game in every level. For example, season is so long and you have so many ups and downs. What that means? That means that you will not feel the same in the beginning of the season. Let's say when you are sharp, when you're ready to roll, when you kind of can't wait to game to start. And for example, let's say in May or even June when the season is end. For me, the greatness of the coach, if he prepares you very well in the same way in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end of the season, because in the end of the season, that counts. Okay, that's you make results or not. It depends how are the ambitions of the club. For example, when I was playing in the big teams, I was always, for me, are a little bit different. I was always focused who gonna guard me and who I gonna guard. Let's say my position. That's the way I prepare myself. About mentally things, very important that the coach actually give you confidence. Like Coach Fabio said, very important when you hear bravo, that means that you're gonna repeat it again and you're gonna doing very well. For example, now I wasn't that much lucky when I was, let's say, player with the coaches, to be honest, because most of them has, I cannot say big ego, but they are, how to say, overrated themselves. You understand what I mean? With any kind of, let's say, degree, education, experience, or whatever. For example, now when I see so rich career of Fabio, he is the guy exactly that he can really give the sentence and give the meaning of that sentence in every individual player who are part of the team, because basketball is team sport. So you have 12 different personalities that you must put together to work together. For me, I kind of like those NBA approach. Why? Because that's a big level of professionalism. For example, you can prepare yourself in your way with your coaches, and you're going to pay them, of course. Strength coach, condition coach, a a mental coach, free throw coach, 3-point line coach, whatever you want. And then you come in the team and then you respect all the agendas from the team. Because let's say the coach is on top of the pyramid, right? And he's the guy who is the most responsible. When we are winning, of course, players are taking those kind of victories. When the team losing, of course, who's guilty? Coach. So that's huge responsibility for him. When you have so many, let's say, eyes and so many opinions about something, that actually cut the percentage to making the good mistake for choosing and selecting the player. For example, let's say in NBA, maybe coaches are more like managers. Try to, let's say, check who are the players that they can work together. In Europe here, I think the coaches are more stronger and has more, maybe sometimes they're giving so many responsibility to them, and maybe sometimes the president wants that kind of responsibility for them. But now we are witnesses that money change everything. For example, you have huge name, I give example like Barcelona, and Xavi Pascal is, let's say, Barcelona kid, right? Now he choose the money, go to Dubai more than stay and maybe listen to the new project they're gonna be, let's say, Olympic 4 years, right? So if you have a good base that you're gonna start your coaching stuffs and prepare the players for those kind of, let's say, things that they're gonna see in the very close future, then you will be very successful. For me, I like when I was kind of older, that means that you must more rely on your mental strength and your mental preparation of the game, and all those kind of, let's say, stressful situation that most of the players actually struggle with that, right? When you're young, you are like a young bull, you know, you want to see everything, you want to go everywhere, you want to kick ass everybody, but that doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom, but you just don't have experience. When I become older player, then I realize how much I can, let's say, avoid bad situation, that situation can influence bad on my game. So I try to prepare myself for that kind of situation. So I practice those kind of way, because every game is a mirror of a good practice, right? So how you gonna practice, that's the way you gonna play. And I actually now in this, let's say, basketball right now, I like so many opinions, you know, to sometimes maybe as a coach, I don't see everything. They're gonna whisper in my ear or said, let's say on meeting or whatever, before the game, whatever, hey, maybe I saw that game, maybe we can try this, you know, because that's the way that the group working great together with all stuff. And that means strength coach, condition coach, of course, technical tactic coach, and that means mental coach, therapists, doctors, everybody, because that's the way that you can actually take the best performance from the player. That's my opinion.
Great, absolutely great. Okay, I like to tell this thing, because many okay, the connection sometimes goes away. Okay, for me, there is a basic situation. What does it mean a team? Because sometimes we had a bad idea about the team. Okay, as being great, the team is team, and I don't speak about the team as player, because if we want to give a right team as a player, the staff before must be a team. What does it mean? If I have a position, head coach, strength coach, mental coach, physical coach, okay, every person must know exactly his position in the team, and they must respect the position of the other player, of the other the other man, the other player. So if in this situation, for sure we can build a right team. Okay, now I want to give you experience in Italy. Okay, in this moment, okay, I'm offering my position as a mental coach in different team, but many person answer me and say, okay, I know that is very important, but in this moment we don't have money to give you as a mental coach. And I'm crazy because I don't need money from a team, because I have the other job. So, but for example, in my country, in this moment, there is the culture how, for example, a mental coach. I don't like the terminology mental coach. I don't like it. But in any case, if the mental coach can help people to grow up, to resolve some troubles, but as I said before, the most important thing is to help the player to recover energy, and also to have the player with the situation relaxed body, because if you relaxed body, you can have a good performance. You can check you can check injuries from the contact, but you can check some troubles from about the stress, about the anxiety. So just relax body, and just 10 minutes a day, not hours. And this message is so difficult to accept in just listen in my country. And for this reason, Sergio Scariolo is in another world, because he work with the NBA, so just in the staff at NBA. And in this moment, I'm working with athletes in basketball, but in other discipline. And following what I said you before, you said, so it's very important to help the people, to help the player, to help the player, to the athletes, to grow up, not just as a player, but as a man. Because if you have a good man, if you have a good woman, for sure you will have a better athletes. And this is a mission. It's not easy. It's not easy, because sometimes you must give to the player some. For example, I'm thinking about coaches in youth team. But also this situation is the same for teachers in the school. This player, these guys, these students, maybe they spend more time with a coach or teacher than their parents. And for this reason, we have a great responsibility, not just to teach them the discipline, the sport, but to grow up the right man and the right woman. And sometimes people forget that young coaches, they are focused on the winning game, and they send all the energy. We must win, and they forget how is important the path to arrive to winning. And this path is not only teaching basketball or the other, but also teaching them the rules to be a right man in the world. and this has been my mission, but it's not simple, not simple,
Yeah.
because I see that all the energy people put, we must win, we must win, we must win, we must win, and they forget how is very important to grow up. The people giving them some rules to be inside the society in the world.
Yeah, everybody must understand that all the bodies and all the people are in some way vulnerable. That means that they are from humans. They also have emotions. So the right approach with the great, let's say, idea and with the good confidence, then you're gonna receive very good awards. But that's process. Nothing gonna happen over the night. So that's the most important thing: how you gonna play, how you gonna recover, and how you going to achieve your goals. Simple as that. Thank you, Fabio.
Yes, well, this is really great how we are talking with you. So many details, information you are giving for you. I would love something to, how saying, like you are going in the dentist and somebody wants to bring the tooth out. I will try to get something now out from you. So I would love to get some kind of information about two things, because I am very much respecting more stuff, more people, because when I left Serbia, I was thinking like basketball is head coach, assistant coach, and finished. Head coach, I know everything. What you said, you not need other knowledge, other technology, and very hard, little to change this mindset. But with this mindset slowly is changing. And I'm just saying for the viewers, I think it was 2000 or 2004 Olympic Games, and I was reading that only the Serbian sport delegation not was bringing a mental coach and the psychologist. Everybody was bringing, and this what I'm telling for you, that I'm coming from Serbia, and even my mindset changed how I was working abroad, how is important to give confidence for players, how is important to have your staff, because you need to realize you don't know everything. Everybody maybe in some area is great, but other people are even better in some other area. And I would love to get from you, Fabio, for example, that kind of information for our viewers, that, for example, a mental coach, how can help, for example, because maybe a player when he's tired, maybe is not mental stable on the training, on the game, or what you mentioned, and Mladen also, that players are humans. Players are also in a lot of stress, maybe stress on depending on the goal of the club, maybe the position in the team, maybe that player get a new coach and maybe hard to work with that coach, maybe has some private problems at home. How you are helping for these players, some practical examples to give, because one thing I want just to say for our viewers, that I remember that class on the faculty, Mladen, I don't know, do you remember that we were with other coaches from other sport disciplines, and one young coach was, I think, karate or some kind of martial art. And he's saying, like, I was waiting so much the Olympic Games or World Cup, that he said for us, even he was not able to sleep 2-3 weeks, like so much waiting the big sport event. So for example, how then, Fabio, you can help for athletes with that kind of problems as a mental coach to make themselves, what you said, more relaxed, and that these people can make better performance in their sport disciplines?
So as I said before, okay, first, okay, if you realize that in your team a player has these difficulties, okay, as a coach, I must be closer to him. Okay, I believe a lot in the culture questions. Because so I don't know what happened in your country, but in my country, when we were young, I remember, Mom, Dad, why that, why that? When we grow up, so a man that may question for the people, is a man that, sorry, is not elegant. It's a man that broke the balls. So, but the questions are very important to realize, and if we realize that the player is a trouble, okay, question that can be, okay, how can I help you? What can we do together? And I'm here to help you. And sometimes, okay, maybe players are shy, they don't like to answer. And this culture is very important also at the beginning of the season, because step by step, if you make the right question, you can have the right answer, and you can understand if you are working the right way. So when, for example, a player has a trouble because he doesn't sleep, we can suggest him to focus on his brief, sending the message that briefing is one of the most important. I don't like to use this word weapon, because in this moment the weapon is out, but is the most important technique. And for this reason, as a coach, I must have all knowledges, not just technique knowledges. I must know how to help players when they are in trouble. And I can't just tell them, okay, pay attention how to dribble, pay attention to shoot. Okay, I must give some ideas, some technique to help them, because if I suggest them to use the right briefing, I'm doing a great job. As a teacher at the university, in this moment, I'm teaching to the student in a physical education degree. And in the last 2 years, we were so able, okay, with the support of the university, to build to make some courses where we are speaking about how the mental coaching can be useful in the sport.
Yeah.
And my students are not just in basketball, but also in different disciplines: volleyball, I don't know, handball, water polo, ski. So, and it's great because these guys, they are young, they are 21, 22, but they realize how is it very important to have these knowledges to be a totally coaches. And in this moment, has been the biggest successful that we have in our university. I repeat, as a coach, I'm the coach not just to help the player to realize his dream to be a professional player, but to realize to be a professional player isn't enough to give them technique knowledges. We must give them the other information. The other information are very important when they are in trouble.
Well, I would love to get from you for my last question one answer, because I am glad that I see that you are full of passion about mental coaching. And now I would love to get from you some information for young mental coaches who would love to become a good mental coach and to work, let's say, in great organization in some sport disciplines. By your experience, what these young mental coaches should need to do. First, to get knowledge, then to get experience, and how, for example, what we are now talking, that mindset is changing, but little hard to accept some big organizations to put mental coaches as well, especially in Europe. So what they should need to do to be mental coach until end of their life in one sport discipline. What is your experience? What can be your suggestions for these young mental coaches who are at the beginning of their career?
Okay, I have to start as I said before about the university. I'm making a lot of the question, and okay, my question are many times, often about, but do you suffer about the anxiety before the game? And always say, oh yes, for sure. And how to manage this situation? Hey, we don't know, teacher. We don't know, professor. And if I tell you that there is a course that can help you to manage your anxiety, but in this course you can get a certification that can help you to be a better coach. Are you able to do it? Okay, always is a provocation. Always is a provocation. And as I said, in less to here, okay, we have a course about the mental coach, but now 10 of this my student, they are getting the certification as a mental coach, making a course with me because I'm trainer for mental training in Italy. And they are my student at the university, but also they are my student in this moment, I realize that they have a great enthusiasm for that, because this technique that I'm telling them, okay, they are making on themselves, and they have the results. They can manage the anxiety, the stress. They can manage the mistakes, and this situation is building in them a great motivation to go on. And this is for me the first step, because okay, the first step born when to tell them, okay, but what about you are making mistake? What happened when you made a mistake? But you work a lot so good during the week, and during the performance you are failing. And when they realize this situation, they want to make something to have a better performance.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you, Fabio. Wow. That's really amazing.
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing for me. It's amazing for me. It's amazing for me.
Thank you very much.
We enjoyed really, both of us, the talking with you, and I think all of our viewers who will watching the full video will get a lot of information about what can learn when you was as a head coach, when you are working as a mental coach. So really, thank you very much, Fabio. I'm wishing for you great health and all the best, and I am waiting that I can meet with you again personally later. No, all the best for everybody, and have a nice day. We are little excused if our internet connection was not the best. Yes, tell Fabio.
Okay. Ciao, ciao. Thank you very much.
Ciao, ciao. All the best for everybody. Ciao.